as I said before, this channel is just going to grow exponentially as we do get into the season. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you for 3,100 subscribers. Let's keep it up. Let's keep growing. Jonathan, thank you for the question. Why do you think they've done nothing to improve the offense? Guard, possibly adding a vet receiver. It's pretty sad, especially how bad this offense has been, and a rookie coming in. Well, let me just start by saying this. They did add a veteran receiver. He was just already here. It was Darius Slayton, and they brought back Van Roten. Now, it doesn't mean they're done with guard, but they definitely wanted to fix that secondary. That was very important. And the free agency market offensively wasn't really great either. So I think their hands are kind of tied. Once Godwin was gone and Metcalf was gone and Devontae Adams was gone, they got big money. That was pretty much it. There wasn't much there left. So I don't know if anybody wants to add anything to that.
I mean, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, from what I've heard, it sounds like the Giants were pretty in on Will Freeze. That was going to be one of their big signings. And when that didn't work out, that's when they pivoted to Javon Holland. So I'm curious as to why they haven't gone for a Brandon Scherff or a Dalton Reisner or someone like that instead of going back to Van Roten. But I did think that was very interesting. And it made me think, like, I wonder if they went after Godwin or some of the other free agent wide receivers. Like, I don't even think they got close to T. Higgins, but it did make me think, like, I wonder if there were other instances like that.
I thought Josh Palmer. I thought they were in on Josh Palmer. I just don't know if they ever offered him any money or not.
Yeah. My guess is too that that's just going to be their focus in the draft, right? I mean, I guess that's the good thing now is we can assume that they still have, multiple picks left in the draft that they could use on offense to help build depth like they did on the defense.
Definitely. Anything to add there about the offense? Why they didn't add any offensive players?
Yeah, I mean, I think Anthony, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, because I think it's because they feel like they're a quarterback away and they think a quarterback will elevate a lot of these. Like a lot of problems they had last year probably were masked by a quarterback playing better. So I think that's really what it boils down to for them.
True.
Yeah. Good point. And I think, like you said, Bad Dog, the wide receiver market wasn't there. Like, I think if T. Higgins was an option, the Giants would have pursued him. I really believe that. I just don't think he was ever going to view the Giants as a desirable location. Like, Cincinnati's a much better spot for him.
Right.
Godwin,
you mean we don't have Joe? You don't have a Joe Burrow over here to throw him the football here?
Godwin, same thing. He clearly he felt comfortable in Tampa Bay, where he's played his whole career. He quickly signed back there. So, and I think he took significantly less money, if I'm not mistaken, if I recall, to stay there. So the Giants aren't really a destination where people are looking and dying to come to. So at the end of the day, as far as the wide receiver market goes, at least there wasn't many options for the Giants other than to bring back Darius Slayton. The offensive line, I think Shane, at least, explored some guys that could make a significant impact, but at the end of the day, he couldn't get them. So he said, okay, let's bring it back with the same group of guys, another year to continue to build with one another, which I'm not necessarily against. I like that idea. I think that, as I've said before, I think it takes time for an offensive line to gel. And if you're constantly shifting offensive linemen in and out of the starting lineup year over year, you're not going to be able to grow. So I don't hate that idea. And he did, and it looks like he tried to build some depth on that line. And I expect him to continue to do that in this year's draft. He's got 5 picks inside the top 105. I'd be surprised if at least one of those aren't an interior offensive lineman and potentially one wide receiver for the future. So that's where I'm at. So I'm not really surprised because I don't think there were a whole lot of options for them to really have a super impactful player on the offensive end, which is why he kind of went more towards the defensive end because he felt like he get some impactful players there in free agency.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, not that it probably ain't going to make a difference at the end of the day, but they're also, we talked about this a while back, they're going to try Evan Neal at guard. Maybe you catch lightning in a bottle. Maybe he ends up being a really good guard. I mean, he was a really shitty tackle, but if you get any value out of him at the guard position, at least the draft pick doesn't look as bad. Eric, thank you so much for the donation. He is on board with Jameis Winston. I'd have no problem if they brought in Jameis Winston, honestly. I prefer Russell Wilson, but I mean, Jameis Winston can play at this level. He's a good mentor. He's a good bridge quarterback. He's not going to cost as much as the other quarterbacks. I'm perfectly fine with Jameis Winston being a Giant next year. As a matter of fact, Chris and I, when we talk about it, that was always our pick. We thought for sure that he was going to be the guy. Never really considered Rodgers or Russell Wilson when we were doing games back in December and January. So,
yeah,
but I have no problem with Jameis Winston.
I think he's perfect if you're drafting a quarterback. I mean, I think Russell Wilson's better, but I'm completely fine with Jameis Winston. He's a guy that could play for 6-7 weeks, and He's a guy that is experienced being drafted number 1 overall, so he knows the pressures that come with that. He could throw he definitely will throw the ball all over the field. He'll make a lot of mistakes, but he'll also give his receivers a lot of opportunities. So, I'm completely on board with Jameis Winston.